Alright, today's video, I'm going to show you guys the gaming setup in my van. Here's the inside of my van, super simple. Futon sofa bed, in sofa mode right now. There's my storage under the bed. Here's where I keep all my gaming supplies. This is my favorite way to game in my van. Retro mini consoles, my mini arcade cabinets. You could play off the tiny screen and play with the built-in controller, or use actual controllers and hook it up to your TV. TurboGrafx 16 Mini, and here's my most modern console, Xbox 360. I'll talk about this first since most of you guys will probably play retro consoles if you're thinking about playing video games in your vehicle. I think the last modern game I played was Dead Rising 2. How long ago was that? But I have a bunch of retro downloads on my Xbox 360 hard drive. I'm glad it's still working because I have some good ones on here. My favorite one is probably X-Men the arcade game. I'm glad I was able to get it while it was still downloadable. Then I believe the license was lost, so they took it off the roster. Yeah, X-Men the arcade game. Hopefully my 360 lasts forever. It might, because I rarely run CDs through it. I'm always running games off the hard drive. But like I said, it has a high power draw, so expect a high power draw if you play PS5. So let's go 4-player arcade cabinet. That's really cool. There you go. Classic retro arcade game. How much did this cost to beat in the arcades back in the day? I have a few power sources. I'm mainly running this Harbor Freight Thunderbolt 35 amp hour. That translates to a 420 watt hour battery. This one's not hooked up to solar. My other one is hooked up to solar. Here's my solar setup, and the battery, the main battery, is behind my bed. That one's hooked up to solar. These mini consoles, they hardly draw any power, like 5 watts, but if you run a modern console, you're gonna run about 120 watts. I'll show you the power draw right now. Here's another power source I have. Portable solar generator. So right now I'm running 144 watts out. That's the Xbox 360. And I'm only drawing in 1.8 watts because I'm in the shade right now. So this one's hooked up to solar, to a solar panel. There's a wire. I have 2 solar panels. This one's a 50 watt. That's what was charging up the solar generator. And there's a 100 watt panel right there. That's what's charging up my main battery. So the watt draw for this was 144 watts. So my solar battery is 420 watt hours. So basically that means I'll be able to run this for about 3 hours. So if you're gonna run a modern console, you want a higher capacity battery. The reason why I'm running with the Harbor Freight Thunderbolt batteries is because I don't run too many high drawing electrical equipment in my van. So this TV draws 17 watts. This draws about 5 watts. So I could play this for 3 days straight, even if I didn't have any solar charge. I wanted one of these Turbo Minis for Castlevania, but this is the game that surprised me. This is the best game on this mini console. It's fantastic. So TurboGrafx 16 Mini running right now. This game's really good. My girlfriend got me this. I'm glad she got me this. I put it on my Amazon wish list. Astro City Mini. Little screen, little controllers built in. I got this one for Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder. Always wanted to try this game out. Sometimes I just like to lay down on my couch here, play off the small screen with the little controller when I don't feel like looking at the big TV when I'm getting ready for bed when I go camping. But I'll go ahead and hook this up to the TV right now. Astro City Mini hooked up to the TV using a controller, so I don't have to use a little controller built in. So let's go ahead and go to Golden Axe, the Revenge of Death Adder. This game's great. Paid a pretty penny for this thing, but it's worth it just for this game. A couple of good ones on here too, but this is definitely the best one on this little collection. All right, let's go ahead and play this. I'll just show you guys the magic real quick. All right, let's go ahead and use the magic. Should be C. Is it C? There it is. Here's what I have under the bed. We just had this out. Original Xbox, Nintendo games, HD Nintendo, not original hardware. HD Super Nintendo right there. Need for Speed 2 on original Xbox controller. Here you go, Super Nintendo game. And like I said, that's why I like these mini consoles, because all the games are built in. I don't need to pull all this out, but sometimes I do. But I mainly play TurboGrafx 16 Mini these days. This is my MVP for gaming right now. My van's a 1999 Ford Econoline E350. It's set up for off-roading and camping. If you want to get your van lifted, I recommend Action Van Suspension. They're in San Clemente, California. If you're closer to Salt Lake City, Utah, Wasatch Overland carries Action Van Suspension lift kits and also installs them. If you want one of these off-road style light bars, my buddy Ryan makes them. He also makes these side ladders, so in the comment section I will pin where to get these side ladders, light bar, and where you could get a lift kit. I'm thinking about getting a tall roof from Wasatch Overland so I could stand in my van. Headed to the retro game store right now to trade these two things in. My buddy, he already had this, and this did not work on my Astro City Mini. This is a Bluetooth controller. It's compatible with the 2.4 gigahertz controller, so I just took too long to return this to Amazon, so probably get $1 for this, $1 for this, but that's fine. It's just sitting around. This thing's big. Retro game store right there. I like to check this place out at least once a month. Support local businesses. If you buy something, someone gets to keep a job, right? So they didn't take my controller, but they took Street Fighter Collection for $10. This game right here, $8, so I didn't spend anything today. I've been thinking about this game a lot lately. I remember playing this game a lot when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I haven't played it ever since. I'm 43 now, and they just happen to have it. So let's see if it's any good. As I get older, I realize how much my past and revisiting it makes me really happy. So this is the good thing about having video games in my van. I could take a look at this right now. Retron HD, roller game. Let's see if it works. There it is. So I remember this game. You're just on roller skates, beating people up. Let's see if it's still any good. Let's try to play it one-handed. Let's see if this is the game I remember. I could be wrong. You know what? I could be wrong. I might have remembered incorrectly. Okay, it is. It's the game I remember. Okay, so I did remember this. I was supposed to jump that. Alright, one-handed. Yeah, I know there's a girl in this game too. So it's a platformer, beat 'em up. There we go. Yeah, this is not Double Dragon. All right, I know there's a girl, so let me see. Let me see if I remember correctly. Okay, so I reset it. So there was a girl with red or pink hair, if I remember correctly. 1990. Okay, so I picked Rockers, Hot Flash. That should be the girl. Let's see. Yep, I was correct. Pink hair. The wrong button. Okay, yeah. I did not remember this game being like you hit them once and they drop. Let me get there. Even playing with both hands, the platforming is really tricky. So I do remember this game. It is what I remember. You're on roller skates or roller blades fighting, but I don't remember the combat system being this basic. Like you just punch them once and they go down. Like I'm playing one-handed again. But yeah, it's not like Double Dragon 2 where you just keep pummeling them. Very, very weird that there's a platforming elements in a beat 'em up. The controls are definitely very slippery. Could I just skate past all these guys? Or little obstacles? I'm sure you'll fall in that. Alright guys, so that's my channel relaunch, retro renewal. I'll be uploading a lot more emphasizing retro lifestyle. When I go camping, I don't go hiking. I just like waking up somewhere nice, play retro video games, and hang out with my cat.